Ready, set, art. So the fall leaf composition with at least 7 leaves, creating an interesting composition. It can be with more subject matter based, like this one where I took the leaves and I shaped it into a bird. That's fine. Or maybe your leaves are going into a spiral or loop-de-loops like this. One cool one I saw was this girl drew like a cartoon like panda. There were fall leaves falling all around. So the 7 leaves were around the panda. So there's all sorts of ways to do the assignment. I'm looking for 7 leaves. Okay, so the fall leaves need to be like a fall leaf shape. Like this one here, or the maple leaf. The maple leaf is fine. It just can't be the 7-pointed one. All right. Now, for this too, I want to see a gradation. That means going from light to dark in a nice even tone, right? So how I do that is, for instance, this one I used yellow and orange. If your project you want to go crazy and because maybe yours is a space theme or a galaxy theme and you want your fall leaves to go from blue to purple, that's fine. I'm all in. Or it's more rainbow-like, okay, I'm in for that too. I'll show with the basics with the orange and the reds and the browns, okay? So let's get started on that. Let me move this to the side. All right. And this was from the sketchbook assignment with the fall leaf. So I'm going to use this fall leaf right here as an example so we can get started. I'm using my crazy art pencils. That was the ones that I recommended off of the supply list. They were kind of an inexpensive brand, but so far I've had an okay time using them. No big deal. Came with this golden tone. If you have Prismacolors, of course, you know, all of that's fine. You have a different colored pencil, that's fine. I do recommend a bigger set, which is what I did recommend originally in that supply set, was at least the 36 colors. Okay, so I'm going to start with this golden tone. Okay. And a gradation is when you start with a base color. You probably can't read that because it's in yellow. Base color. That means you fill the whole thing in. Alright, so I just kind of gently go back and forth. Not like this. I hate that. That drives me crazy. You take your time and overlap as you go. That overlap means you kind of go back and forth like this. Back and forth, right? So I'm filling up this section. And for demonstration purposes, you're just going to have to trust me that I would fill in this whole leaf with this light golden yellow. See how that, it's starting to look even. I have to say, there's usually 3 big challenges when students take art in middle school. Proportion's one of them. Composition's another. That means setting it up nicely, having good spacing. And the other is gradation. They have a hard time with the texturing. I see this like this, and I go, oh no, what happened? Take your time, and look how I hold my pencil. I hold it like this. I don't hold it like this. That hurts your fingers after a while because you're putting all this pressure right here. Artists actually hold it like this, where they place the pencil right there, the thumb's here, and then the pointer finger's just kind of going right on top. And so it's a looser feel, and it doesn't hurt your hand as much. In college, we draw for almost 9 hours a day, and that really takes a toll on your hands. If you were to hold it like this, you would give up after 15 minutes. So anyways, I hold like this. It takes a while to get used to that. I understand in elementary your teachers tell you to hold things like this, but really the better way to hold for an artist is like this. It's much looser and it's easier, and you're not killing your paper. Alright, so imagine I filled in the whole thing. Yay. Then we go to our next darker color. So in this case, I'm going to use an orange and eventually my brick red. What's a brick red? Okay. I need to sharpen my pencil. Almost there. And again, if your base colors, because you want to go kind of crazy with this, is going from here to here, where it's like green, then blue, then purple, I think that's fine. You want to change it up, I'm in. Or maybe it's kind of crazier. It's yellow, and then it blends to this blue. Great, great. Okay, so anyways, I did that as the base. I did that as the base, okay? And now I'm kind of going on the edges here, and I have a slight outline. Okay, imagine I did that all the way through. And I just start blending in. Now, and then I lightly pick it up, light, as if it just blends and fades in. Right, so it's like you press hard here, medium aggression here, and then blend out. That's an even fade. That's an even fade. Now, what would not be an even fade? Let me go over here so I can show you. It's when I see this. Where it looks like a thick outline, right? That's called color blocking. Color blocking is when it's like a block of color. Block of orange, block of yellow. A gradation is when you start with your base color, the yellow, and then you go back on top with your second color, okay, and you fade it in. You press hard at first, just like here, and then lightly pick it up. So if you did do this, well then, you're just going to have to create your medium value here, right, and then lightly blend it out. Aha! Okay, so that's in case you do that. I'm going to show you another common mistake in a moment, but I want to do a third gradation, because even though I like my orange and yellow, could use some contrast. Contrast means really, stands out. Dark in some areas. Alright, I have my brick red here. Technical color is called orange peels. That's interesting. It's not really orange. Alright, so I'm going to press harder here. And now it's really kind of starting to create that fall-like color that we know. Because usually fall colors, it's not always such a bright orange, right? And if that's not good enough, do I have another color I can use? I have some more browns, there's more reds, but that's pretty good. In this final piece, I did go back in with a Sharpie and I kind of used some black lines here and there, but I didn't use a thick Sharpie. That was really, really thin, okay? So could you technically go in with a very dark color like this one? This one is deep raspberry. An outline here and have an outline. Sure, you could do outline as long as I see this fade. Okay, let me show you the other common mistake. Alright, very common is this. Is when people start with the dark color, they go like this. Again, it looks essentially like a thick outline. And then instead of having the base color underneath, they do this. See that? That's another version of color blocking. That is not gradation. And sometimes I'll see students do this. Okay, it's like there's no yellow under there, so there's not this nice transition. So what they'll do is they'll kind of bring this orange in, and they'll try to fade it into the yellow. And the problem with that is there was no yellow here to begin with, and so the colors look a little off. So I don't want to see, alright, I put my orange in, now I go to yellow. No. You fill in with yellow. You fill in the whole thing. Then you go from the edge and fade. Okay? A fade is like it starts like this, and then you're gently not so aggressive on the paper, and then you gently start fading out. See that? Okay. So that's a really important technique for this project. I want you to try it out. Thank you and good luck.